Televiziunea Română, întâlnirile JTI și Fundația Art Production vă recomandă Garantat 100%.
Salutare! Salutare la toată lumea! Bine v-am regăsit la Garantat 100%. Vă invit din nou la o seară de povești despre cărți, filme, muzici, spectacole și, nu în ultimul rând, despre oameni. Le mulțumesc tuturor celor care ne încurajează și care sunt alături de ceea ce încercăm să facem noi aici. Iar acum vă invit să-i cunoașteți pe invitații care au sosit în seara asta la Garantat 100%. Bassam Gemayel are 35 de ani, e libanez și lucrează în România de vreo 2 ani. Povestea lui e fascinantă. Era gata să abandoneze școala și să se facă cioban. În cele din urmă a reușit să termine facultatea de inginerie electronică și s-a angajat la o firmă de telecomunicații din Liban. După o vreme, împreună cu câțiva colegi, și-a pornit propria afacere. Acum e în România și descoperă stupefiat plaiul mioritic. În seara asta îl vom cunoaște și îl vom asculta pe Alexandru Mălaimare, un tânăr violonist care se bucură deja de o reputație foarte bună. Ca de obicei, prietenul și colegul Puiu Pascu ne va aminti o temă celebră de jazz. Iar la finalul emisiunii îi vom cunoaște și îi vom asculta pe membrii grupului The Marker. Good evening, Bassam.
Good evening.
Welcome and thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Catalin, for having me here. It's a great honor for me to be here with you tonight.
Thank you. We have met in TEDx Bucharest, and your discourse was more than successful. You talked about Romania, but first of all, I would kindly ask you to give me an answer. Why Romania?
Like, you mean what do I do here, or why did I choose
Why
to come here?
did you choose Romania? Right.
Well, it's a long story. The short version of it is the following. I was going from one country to the other. I was working for that same company, traveling a lot. And I was a bit tired of having all my energy dispersed all over the place, and I thought, and I had recently finished an executive MBA, and I said, well, what do I do with this? I probably should have a more focused work, and the opportunity of Romania was there, and I made all that I could to go, and finally I succeeded. And I think it's one of the things I'm most proud of today. Looking back 2 years ago, I have like 2 lives, one before Romania and one after Romania. I'm very proud to be here, and I'm really impressed.
Before coming to Romania, did you know anything about Romania except the fact that this country exists?
Well, to be honest, I didn't know much about Romania, except we heard about it. We've seen that the revolution, of course, that was something that everybody knew about. And then 2007, we heard about the extension of the European Union. Beside that, of course, I did a lot of homework before coming here, because we were starting something, we had nothing. And it was interesting to come and see that whatever you do, how much you read in the books and the market studies, when you sit down with people, it's a different story.
Okay, let us go back for a while in Lebanon. How was the story with you being about to become a shepherd?
Well, it's an interesting story, but what happened, I was at school and I wasn't that great at it. So, and my father was saying, hey, we're spending a lot of money keeping you at school. Why don't you do something a bit more interesting? And we come from a countryside, and he sent me there for long holidays, and he said to me, well, maybe you could do something a bit more efficient or useful for yourself. Well, it was okay. It was calm, but it wasn't what I was expecting from things. So I said to him, okay, what should I do? And I tried school again, and well, ultimately things turned out to be okay.
When we met in TED, I had a problem, an issue, a question. And the question was, how could it be possible to leave the fabulous Lebanese cuisine in order to get to, I don't know, polenta and smoked pork and garlic sauce and stuff like that?
Well, definitely I didn't come here for the food. So yeah, I do agree the food there is great and it's fresh, and you go to a restaurant there and then you tell the restaurant keeper, can I have some of this and this? And he goes to his garden in the backyard and he goes and prepares it for you. You want something, I was a bit shocked initially when you're talking about restaurant. I come here and then they're a bit more exact in their
institutionalized
offerings. Yes, and then like you have this and this. Can we mix but no. And it's not pre-prepared. It's just the people are less ready for, playing around with things, juggling with things that's no possibility. So it was quite a shock initially. I couldn't say today I have the same feeling as the first 3 months. They were very difficult. I was all alone in a small apartment. Well, I heard a song. I don't know if you know, it's Piazza Romana numero 9.
Yes.
It's a very famous song, and I said, well, they seem to have fun there. And then I said to myself, hey, I should go. And then I was lucky enough, and today I live at Piazza Romana numero 9. But it was different from the standards I seen. It was very noisy, chaotic, small. It's an interesting change. But today I think I found what I want, and I'm much more relaxed and calm and accept things. I'm very happy with things.
How do you perceive Bucharest when coming from Lebanon? Is it, I don't know, do you find an Oriental atmosphere in Bucharest, or do you find a Western atmosphere in Bucharest? I'm very anxious to find out that.
Well, when you say, how do I find Bucharest? It's difficult to dissociate, in my opinion, any place from its people. You cannot go and make an abstraction of, because like it's a desert, then there's no problem. How do you find the desert? It's sandy. But just how do you find Bucharest is, initially you look around and you look up and then you see all of these mixture of a bit of socialist and then it's interesting. But the people are probably one of the most interesting characters, and I have seen a lot of people, I've traveled a lot of countries. They're very interesting and they're very colorful in their dressing. I've never seen in my life people walking with colors, so many colors. You see, it's nice, it's very change. People are colored, they dare. You would see them wearing boots with like flowers on them, and then wearing t-shirts with purple and in green, and it's very interesting. It was a bit of a shock for me. I wasn't expecting this kind of a different change. Like I thought they do resemble the Lebanese though. They do resemble the Lebanese people. They're warm in that sense. They're way friendly. They're tactile. They come, they talk to you. You feel it's not very difficult to approach them.
What do you understand by tactile?
They just easily they put, at the beginning I was having a map and I was, would you please tell me how to go there? And the person would take you and make you, and I was thinking, okay, that's fine. Okay, I know France a lot, and then they're completely different. And this guy just takes you, and they'll, see here, see this, do that.
You're already old friends.
Yes, as if like, and then you get used to it. And then you start doing it, and it's very interesting how you change in a very short period. That's what I mean. It's a nice thing. It's like a human touch. That's something very nice. Well, there are also things that are a bit less positive, shall we say, but then probably we'll get there when the moment comes.
Definitely. Okay, in each of our show, we used to cast a glance upon some habits of our compatriots. And I specifically refer to reading, listening to music, watching films.
Îmi place să citesc, îmi place Hermann Hesse, Jocul cu mărgele de sticlă este cartea mea preferată.
Citesc destul de mult. Pentru școală? Nu neapărat. Îmi plac romanele de avanturi și romanele polițiste.
Sunt un consumator fidel de vreo 30 de ani al teatrului bucureștean și de-abia aștept să văd acum premiera de la Național cu toți fiii mei, de asemenea premiera la Național cu Tartuf, începe și Festivalul Național de Teatru.
Am fost chiar la premieră la Tartuf și a fost foarte frumos, ne-a plăcut foarte mult, a fost domnul Mălăele, a jucat Tartuf, în fine a fost o experiență puțin altfel decât celelalte piese.
Am și o autoare preferată, Jane Austen, am citit cam tot ce înseamnă Jane Austen.
De ce îți place?
Îmi plac personajele ei, îmi place modul ironic de a trata lucrurile și îmi place că arată realitatea din perioada respectivă.
Acum citesc de un autor englez, Jerome K. Jerome, Trei într-o barcă. E o carte foarte drăguță, plină de umor englezesc, foarte, foarte simpatic și foarte bună pentru relaxare, pentru a mai uita de griji, de...
Am procurat și pot să citesc Le Libraire d'Amsterdam. Este o carte senzațională despre apariția cărții, despre perioada Renașterii și despre libertatea de spirit care se năștea atunci în Europa, dar care nu avea șanse să trăiască atunci.
Eu sunt mare admirator de muzică folk, neobișnuit pentru vârsta mea și generația mea, dar sunt unul din puținii care cred într-o nouă generație de folk, unul din reprezentanții unei noi generații folk. Nu știu, suntem puțini, dar buni, cred eu.
Îmi place să ascult Queen-ul, pentru că este formația generației mele și pentru că face legătura între muzica modernă și prin rock-ul pe care îl practică îi atrage și pe cei care sunt cunoscători de muzică clasică.
House îmi place foarte mult, pop, country, R&B, cam toate stilurile, mai puțin îmi plac manelele și muzica populară, nu prea îmi plac.
Am fost foarte impresionat de concertul lui Grigore Leș din fața Ateneului.
Eu prefer mult mai mult muzica ușoară și mai precis șansoneta.
Mă uit la Dexter. Ce pot să-i că îmi place? He's a natural born killer, presupun că asta mă atrage, nu știu, e mișto făcut.
Și dintr-un patriotism care la momentul acesta este desuet, dar și pentru dragoste de limba română, cartea mea preferată este Cel mai iubit dintre pământeni, de Marin Preda.
Okay. So this was in a school with teachers and pupils, okay? What do you use to read, and what kind of films do you watch, and what kind of music do you listen to?
Okay, well, to be honest, the first book I read, and probably the book that struck me the most, was called L'étranger de Camus. It was this alienating story. It was like weird story about this person who just starts by telling his life and the time his mother died and how things change, and then dramatically ends. And I like absurd, and I like your favorite, one of the favorite absurd is your compatriot, as you say, Ionesco. I like these kind of things. I also noticed that one of the people there mentioned Hermann Hesse.
Yep.
I think Siddhartha also enlightened me a bit. Kind of music. I like jazz. I like the piano. I like Beethoven, Mozart, a lot piano. It's very, I don't know, It's not because I was born to hear, you know, dabke is Lebanese traditional things, but it just gives you some kind of these high pitches, when you hear them, they take you to a different, now, besides classical, I like a lot of different styles. I'd say Eric Clapton, I like a lot. John Lennon is probably one of my, I've quoted him in my speech also at TED. The Beatles in general are okay, but just I prefer John Lennon as a... And then finally, what kind of films I've seen? Well, they have to be weird. You know, that, like, I'd give you one example. Jim Carrey, a lot of people, when they first saw him in The Mask, they were saying, but he's a clown. But you feel that he's got something, and then when Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind arrived, people thought, and Man on the Moon, for example, I mean, probably not the mainstream, they're not the Batmans and the Supermans of every days, but just I do rather like these kind of weird movies. There's a lot of Spanish movies. They're very interesting, Los Amantes del Chico Polar, Almodóvar, just these kind of things. I don't know. Mainstream movies also are very good, like when you want to relax on a Sunday evening and say, I just don't want to think about anything, you just put one of those. Like, you know, I don't know, lately what did I see? I think it was the movie, The Hangover. It's an interesting movie. It's just a movie. It's just a movie for you to go.
Yes,
it's just a movie for you just to sit down and then, you know, just relax. You don't have to. It's not Babel.
Okay. Bassam, how is your Romania? I mean, how do you perceive Romania?
Okay. Today, I have to say, I am very fond of the country, and I do love the countrymen. And though initially, I had a huge rash. I had an allergy with Romanians. They were, in my opinion, because I observe a lot, I sit there and I watch people. They're a bit fast on the answer. Like before you've actually finished the question or whatever you were saying, they already have at least 10 answers, completely different. No, but just they're logical, but completely different answers. None of them actually mixes well with the other one. And whatever you say, however you dice or slice the end game, they will find that they were right. But that's, at the beginning I was saying, but just why? Why don't you just calm down and listen a bit? But then I started thinking about other countries I've been to, and I've been to a lot of those, and they are interesting. If you ask me what I'd like to do, like I tell you what I did on Saturday, I went to Carturești. I sat down, and I met someone that's sitting near me, and I said hi. She was reading a book, and I started talking. She wanted to leave Romania. And I was telling, why? Why is it that just all of you guys, and then 5 hours later, we were at the concert, and I think I've met at that concert. It was just, I don't know anything except the name of the person, and that's it. It's the best thing for me is to meet people, whatever, whomever, but just, and then to talk, and you would learn a lot of things. And we were in a bookstore, Carturești is known, and they were saying, I was telling her, what's more exotic, a book or a person? You would learn in 5 hours, I think, in any person, with any person, more things they could learn reading volumes of encyclopedias. It's just, if you really want to think, it's great. So I do today love Romania because Romanians are very interesting people with their ideas. They're very educated. I have not seen people read, learn, and are eager to learn. Though I would say my Romania also is a sad Romania. It's a Romania that has lost faith in itself. I have a company, 30 people. hired each and every one of them, and I say hi to all of them. They're great people.
So 30.
30.
Okay.
Approximately. So, but just these people have more potential. You guys, all of you, just Romanians have potential beyond what they conceive. What they lack is that faith in their potential. And I see very clever, highly intelligent. I've done the same tests here in other countries, and I've seen how they score. They score very high, but they still doubt. They still are afraid, and that doubt not only takes of their possibility to achieve, but adds to their bitterness. And that is a Romania that I wish from all of my heart that it could change. It could look at itself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. That's something that I wish to happen. Because they are. And a country is its countrymen. Look at what the English say about the French, about France. How come a very beautiful country is inhabited by these people? So I think it's a Romania that is beautiful, but whenever it looks at itself in the mirror, it doesn't see itself as such. And it should.
Do you have an explanation for this?
Well, an explanation, it's easy. There's no silver bullet or just the magic wand. It's an accumulation of things. They had a period, well, in the minds of the young people here around us, it's just history. It's like collective memory. It's not conscious, but just they feel as if they have to do something about it. And they have to understand they cannot change their past. They cannot do anything about their future. But what they can do is about what they're doing today. And most of the time, these people are or projecting themselves in an impossible future and then blocking, or they didn't have the encouragement of that generation that was living in that era, that was, I'm gonna say it, that waiting the end of the month. I'm not gonna quote the English, the Romanian version is a bit harsh, but waiting for the end of the month, and they were looking at their children and saying, why should I encourage him or her? Why should I tell him, go and then do the best that you can? You can do it. Because in their heads, it's gonna be okay. At the end of the month, they're gonna get what they deserve, regardless of what they do. And I think this generation suffers from this because of the previous one, because they didn't spend enough time nurturing that narcissistic, I'm not gonna say that, good image of oneself, that good image of me as a child. Well, then when I grow up, I will see myself being able to be more resilient, as one of the French psychiatrists used to call it, resilience. Boris Cyrulnik, he said, it's when your parents build that image. And I think that's one of the main reasons that they're so less trusty of themselves. But then we see the markers here, they're probably doing better than the rest. But in my humble opinion, that's the reason why. A lot of other reasons, whether they're demographical, because they feel, well, who are we? Who are we? I felt this identity crisis about them. Are we communists? Are we capitalists now? Are we European? Are we Dacians? No, it's not a small question. Like, a lot of countries come together because of a common something, and now they're asking themselves, all of that generation, all of them want to go away. Why? And I tell them, what did France or the UK did for you? And unfortunately, they come back, what did Romania do for me? And in a way, it's a difficult thing to refute when you're sitting in front of an intelligent person with potential. And they have lost that faith. And I think this mix of things leads to that situation. That fatalism leads because, in a way, they also don't want to stand up. We are monkeys. I'm a monkey, sorry, you guys are gold. I look at around me, the people around me, And if they're doing something, slowly, 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 every day, at the end of the day, I'm going to do the same. Around them, people are behaving in such a manner that they say, why should I be any different? Why is it that everyone is throwing the sponge, as they say, or throwing the towel in the box? Why should I just carry on doing this? But if around us, and that's probably what we're going to talk about if you're going to allude to my TED talk, if around us people are doing the right thing, a bit small, each one of them, then the other people will say, I don't want to be left out. And that's the social pressure. The jargon name is social pressure.
Yep.
They're going to go and then do this thing themselves.
We'll come back to that.
Please.
Until then, let's meet Alexander. Salut, Alexandru! Ce faci?
Ce să fac? În primul rând, vă mulțumesc de invitația la această emisiune și deocamdată sunt student în anul 2 la conservator.
În anul al doilea ești, da?
Da.
Ok. La clasa profesorului?
Florin Crăitorul.
Da. Alexandru, bănuiesc că toată lumea te întreabă chestia asta. O să fac și eu vorba lui Bassam. Intru și eu în presiunea socială. Ești fiul actorului Mihai Mălai Mare?
Da, sunt fiul actorului.
Te bucuri, la modul cel mai direct, te bucuri de celebritatea tatălui?
Sincer, da. Dar nu pentru că lumea mă întreabă neapărat întotdeauna dacă sunt fiul actorului, bla bla bla. Ci pentru că, cum să spun, am un model de urmat. Practic, el e modelul meu și îl admir pentru ce a făcut în cariera sa și cred că așa aș vrea să ajung și eu, numai că în muzică.
Cum te descurci în lumea școlii muzicale de la noi? Ești mulțumit cu ce faci la școală?
Da și nu. Da, pentru că am colegi care sunt foarte talentați, ca și mine. Am posibilitatea să dezvolt abilitățile, sunt la un profesor care mă ajută, mă susține și este la rândul lui un violonist respectat în România și pe plan internațional. Și nu, pentru că uneori mă simt un pic limitat aici în România, pentru, nu știu, cred că din cauza sistemului educațional și din cauza că muzica clasică nu este promovată așa cum trebuie. Practic, noi avem un public destul de restrâns, ca să spun așa, în comparație cu alte genuri, cum ar fi rock-ul sau, mă rog, alte muzici. Chiar
ai plecat
jazz-ul.
din România?
În momentul ăsta mă gândesc că da, într-un viitor, mă rog, mai mult sau mai puțin apropiat, mă gândesc că aș pleca undeva în vest, în Europa, în Marea Britanie, să spun, sau Germania, care sunt foarte bine reprezentate pe plan internațional în ce privește muzica clasică. Și nu știu, acum e greu să spun dacă m-aș întoarce după aceea în România și aș continua aici. Ideea e că am plecat. Da, okay. Că aș pleca.
Alexandru, până să pleci, ce ne cânti în seara asta?
În seara asta m-am gândit să cânt Adagio de Johann Sebastian Bach. Este o piesă care mie îmi place foarte mult. Am învățat-o încă de acum 3-4 ani și îmi face mai plăcere să o interpretez.
Înainte de asta trebuie neapărat să spun un lucru. Dacă tatăl tău se va necăji, dacă profesorul tău se va necăji, dacă cineva se va necăji că nu ești în ținuta obișnuită de concert, trebuie să spun că a fost rugămintea mea să rămâi așa cum ești, pentru că mi s-a părut mult mai normal. Alexandru, te rog. Alexandru Mălăimare, mulțumim foarte frumos, Alexandru. Bravo. Yep. Bassam, let us get back for a while to Romania.
Please.
At a certain moment you said that you noticed that Romanians seem to know everything. Could you be a little bit more specific?
Well, seem to know.
Or pretend to know
No,
everything,
no,
or
no,
something
just,
like that?
no,
Yeah.
that's just, I know what you still think. But the thing of the matter is the following. They have this, and I did speak about that at TED, they have those two very important words in the vocabulary. It's the I know and the know. It's an interesting situation. I have never seen someone know so much. Anyone. You just can tell them anything, they know it. They know it. Probably they do. That's what's frightening. They might do know it, though it's just they absorb all of this information. They have this capacity. They know things, enormous things. But then what are you doing about it? It's just like, I've studied it, I've presented the exam, that's it. But how much did it get into you? How much did it change you? And they stop the know thing. They stop in the middle of a reflection. They have a lot of ideas. They know them, they go and they build on them, but when you're discussing with them, they don't. Let me calm down and think, maybe there's a point in this. No, I know it already. And I tell most of them, maybe it's a verbal tick, but like, how much is it that you know and how much is it that you are doing? You know a lot more than you're doing. In that sense, I feel they are guilty. Because if they know all of these things and they're doing nothing, then why do you know them? Like, okay, like if you know 100 languages and you never use except one, why? You know, the knowledge, that's what I try to say, knowledge, you probably should know one thing well and use it, then know 100 things and don't understand any of them. It's like you're juggling with 10 balls and whomever is in your hand, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. And that's the no thing, the negative, probably no. It's just, why can't we be positive about any situation? Why can't we say, instead of I know, I understand? Which is probably sometimes what they mean. I can say, I understand, and I'll think, and I'll be positive, and next time I will do something about that knowledge. Because most of them know that in a certain situation, we should not behave as we do. Still, they do. And when you come and you sit down with them and you tell them, why did we do this? Just not as a reproach, not as just you're being there in any way, you're being their alter ego. But ask, why do you know this? Do you think is this? Yes, I know I should have done that, but why didn't you? So this is something that's very interesting. We all, as Romanians, know, you all as Romanians, if I may, know what's supposed to be done in any situation, and you don't do it. And the no thing, the negative no, is that, well, nothing is going to change, we can't do it, it's not possible, we don't want to do it. Why not? Why not? If you know something, if you know, like, you should be nice to the person, or you should ask for something that is rightfully yours, why don't you just simply do it?
Yes, Bassam, but I don't know. One of our friends here, for example, could ask you, Bassam, isn't this the portrait of a perfect nation, of a perfect people?
There is no such a thing as a perfect nation. There is no perfect people. There are people who do and people who don't. No, there are people who just, they have a situation, they do something about it. And it's true. You see, the French, most of us here know the French, and a lot of Romanians think the French are a bit this and a bit that. Okay, but they will not accept if you walk on their shoes. Or they will not accept it. And in that sense, we could learn from that nation and say, we should, like in that concert, I'll just give you a simple example. The concert was supposed to start at 7.
Yep.
7:30, not even the organizers came and say, excuse us, we have a situation. Assuming, and I started saying, guys, please do something about it, do. And 3 people after those words mustered the courage and went and spoke to the organizers, and was so happy. They come back happy. It didn't cost them anything. It didn't change.
So you influenced people from the audience?
Well, I did. I knew that the 3 people were not very happy, and I kept on speaking to the person near me on purpose, telling them. And they went on. And it's not a big thing. It's a small thing. But then we just send a small signal that we are not happy. Why is it that they're not happy when they're drinking a beer with me? And when they should go and then say I'm not happy to the person, they say, oh, I don't want to say it. Like, why is it when there's someone who's not doing what they're supposed to do, they don't go and tell them, please do this? When someone is, I don't know, I gave you the pizza example. You remember the pizza guy?
Yes. Yes, but we will come back to the pizza story.
Just people should
Definitely.
go, people in general complain. It is acceptable. I complain. You complain, all of us complain. We all need someone to complain to. But just complaining is good. But we should do something when the time is ready. When you are in front of a situation where someone is actually walking on you, you should turn and tell him, please, can you give me some space? It's not a big thing. I'm not being arrogant or impolite to the person, but just
Obviously,
slowly we should do things about it. That concert, I think that was the reason why the person, when she, the harp player, when she came, she said, excuse us, and I was happy. It's just, we have consideration. We are people. We have paid with our money and our time, which is much more important, our time, to spend this hour listening. Why is it that you guys are late? Maybe I have a meeting at 8:30. No, it's not possible. Just my time is nothing for you. My time is absolutely have zero value when it comes to people. It's not the case. My rights have no values. It's not the case. I'm not asking for big things. Just turn around, go and talk to the organizer. If the 100 people or so that were present were French, you had riots in the street. We don't want. Just like, okay, it's funny. It is funny. It's funny in a way, but why didn't the people stand up, just show it in a civilized manner? I'm not asking to break windows or stand up. All of us stand up and just do nothing. Then the social pressure is on them. That is a simple thing, but that is a very strong thing.
Okay, Bassam, you said that you enjoy the jazz music. You're a fan of jazz music. That's part of what we do each week here in our show. So our good friend Puiu will play a famous standard for us tonight. So the standard is called Nardis, which is a composition of Miles Davis, often attributed to Bill Evans, but it's not Bill Evans's. It's a composition of Miles Davis, which was made famous by Bill Evans. Puiu, te rog. Puiu Pascu, mulțumim frumos, Puiu. The story with the pizza. For our friends here and for the people who are watching us, please tell us the story with the pizza.
Okay, this is actually the story that tilted something in my head, and I said I have to say something, and it was probably the construction around which I thought about the whole TED talk. I was sitting down like everyone else, watching the famous The Hangover, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and I just wanted to relax and just say, I don't want to do anything about the day, I don't want to go out. And it comes to you that, hey, the best thing now is to order something and sit down and eat it. And it was late in the afternoon, around 5:36, and I was feeling hungry, and I called the pizza company. And they said, sure, 45 minutes. 2 hours and 15 minutes later, still no pizza. I was starting to get hungry and a bit upset, to say the least. And of course, I did call them. And they said, yes, we have something. As usual, they have something that I don't understand. I don't have the intellectual capacity to understand what's happening, but that's fine. And you hear just this frenetic ring on the door, ring, 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 and you say, oh my God, what's happening? You open the door, it's the pizza guy. He's very, very, very in a huge rush. He's looking at his watch, he's in a rush, and he's saying like, I've been there for
Why do you come so late? It's your own door.
It's like five seconds, I've been 5 seconds on the door. Like, where were you? Come on, you have a castle here? And I tell him, okay, thank you. He shoves the pizza in your face, literally, and then gives you the bill, and I say, okay, well, candid me opens the pizza box, and I look at it, and I say, that's not the thing I ordered. And of course, he's the delivery guy, so I just unplugged my laptop, because I was on the internet when I ordered this, and I showed, like, this is the pizza I ordered. This is a loaf of bread with a tomato on it. Literally 1 tomato and a loaf of bread, that's it. And I said to him, this is very colorful, you know? And he said to me, yeah, we're out of tomato. And I think to myself, okay, what do? I eat the pizza, I'm hungry, I want to enjoy the movie, or just I send this person home. And I thought, well, if I don't send him home, what is the signal I'm sending to the pizza company and to any company in general and to the whole suppliers around us? Am I telling they're suppliers of everything, suppliers of words, suppliers of ideas? Am I telling them that I will eat and accept and pay for anything you put in my face? Will I do that? Or should I send this person back and tell him, no, this time I'm negative, I will not accept everything? And then I thought, if every single person, and I'm sure a Romanian person, unfortunately, would have been very reluctant to do the same.
Right.
He would say, well, it's not the fault for the delivery guy. I'm not thinking about the delivery guy. I'm just saying the message we're sending is that we will not accept anything.
So what did you do? Did you pay for it?
I didn't. I sent back the pizza, and I said to him, please tell your management that this is not the pizza we ordered. Well, I had a loaf of bread and a tomato. I've done my own delivery pizza, but it's a simple thing. But if every and each one of us did that, believe me, the second day, the management of that pizza company will see that they have prepared 100, I'm not going to say 1,000, 100 pizzas that were returned. And they would start doing something about it. And that small thing that one of us, each one of us did, does make the difference.
Bassam, what would you say, what would you answer to, let's say, one of my compatriots who sees you right now on TV, and he is one of the many others who know everything. And he will say, this guy from Lebanon is giving us a sort of motivational, inspirational crap from, I don't know, from the world of the corporate industry and stuff like that. What would you answer to such a guy?
Well, the same thing that I said at the end of my speech. I said, thank all of us, not including you and the other enlightened one. Thank all of you if you're standing up for your ideas, if you're really standing up for your rights. If that person is telling me I'm giving him this motivational talk that he can make a difference, but he's already making the difference, then bravo. But if he knows and he's not making the difference, then I would tell him he should probably look at himself in the mirror and think a bit ashamed of himself. People that are aware of this, and some of them came to me and said to me, we are doing this, and I said to them, thank you. But sometimes they know. But miraculously, or by mimicking other people, they just feel the social pressure is on them not to stand up for their rights. They feel they want to cry inside of themselves. They do cry inside of themselves, but they don't stand up because everyone else is not standing up. And I just want to tell them, you're not the only person. Almost all of you I spoke to, almost all of the Romanians I spoke to, feel and know this. It's as if this interconnection of human beings has lost its network. It's as if we know the internet by heart, we know YouTube, we know Second Life, but guys, why about having a first life?
Cu vreo ceva vreme în urmă, cred că să tot fie vreo lună, două, eram la Brașov, era Cerbul de Aur și absolut întâmplător am trecut prin celebra Piața Sfatului, unde se făceau niște probe de sunet. Probele astea de sunet erau făcute de o trupă foarte interesantă. Trupa se cheamă Marker și în seara asta sunt invitații noștri la Garantat 100%. Salut!
Salut!
Ce faci?
Foarte bine. Cum au fost probele de sunet?
Interesante! Foarte, foarte interesante. Băieții ăștia sună bine. Da. O să te rog frumos să ne prezinți colegii tăi. Cine sunt și
la
ce
chitară,
fac ei
bas.
pe lumea asta. Da?
Andrei Prodan, 1,70 m, constituție
Andrei.
atletică.
Te rog, Andrei.
La tobe, octav,
da?
capotă.
Salut, Octav.
Claudiu Ursache.
Salut,
la
Claudiu.
chitară.
Servus.
Și Paul Mate și eu sunt solist.
Trăiți din muzică, domne, în țara asta?
Încercăm. Dar, din păcate, nici noi nu suntem atât de comerciali. Și asta e.
Sunteți de la Brașov, da?
Eu și Andrei suntem din Brașov, Octav și Claudiu sunt din București.
La Cerbul de Aur cum ați ajuns?
Ne-am înscris, am văzut o reclamă la televizor cu 3 zile înainte să se închidă preselecția asta cu dosare și ne-am depus dosarul și am fost selectați să venim la preselecția cu juriu și acolo am fost, selectați să participăm. Au rămas 3 și noi am fost printre cei 3.
N-aveți unchi verzi, bunici în juriu, în televiziune?
Nimeni,
nu
avem pe nimeni, nu. Eu și Andrei chiar nu cunoaștem nici muzicienii din Brașov. N-am avut nicio tangență cu nimeni. I-am văzut pe băieții ăștia într-un concert și m-am străduit foarte mult, am făcut rost. Ei cântau în deschidere la o trupă mai mare și ei acolo începători. Am făcut rost de numărul lui Octav, l-am sunat, băi, vreau să-mi fac o trupă. I-a zis, îți dai seama, mă sună unul, vrea să-și facă trupă. L-am ademenit cu snowboard, cu nu știu ce, că și el așa, cu snowboard-ul și uite că am ajuns azi la...
Ce vreau să zic, mulți nu cred că nu e pe pile. Adică noi am mai câștigat un concurs, Global Battle of the Band, și acolo a fost exact la fel ca la Cerbul de Aur, nu cunoșteam pe nimeni.
Da.
Și chiar nu e pe pile, adică încurajez pe toți artiștii să participe, că e ok.
Domnilor, să facem zgomot.
Da, zgomot.
Cum se cheamă cântarea?
Iaue.
Ok, hai să auzim Iaue. Baftă!
be a user. I'm a warrior, I am fighting in this game. And I am fighting for a kingdom cause. I am fighting to bring back light and hope to the lost. And now I'm shouting from the bottom of my heart. I want to change this world and set it wide apart. And I see you where I fly away. I see you where I can touch the sky. Yeah, yeah. And I see you where I fly away. I see you where I can touch the sky. Yeah, yeah. I'm not that special or that different from you at all. I'm just a pilot, I'm just flying high this way. And I am flying for a kingdom cause. I am flying to bring back life and hope to the lost. And now I'm shouting from the bottom of my heart. I want to change this world and set it wide apart. And I sing your way, I fly away. I sing your way, the sky, yeah, yeah. And I see your way, I fly away. I see your way, I can touch the sky, yeah, yeah. Go! And I see your way, I fly away. I see your way, the sky, yeah, yeah.
Mulțumim frumos, domnilor! The Marker! Mă îndoiesc că mai doarme cineva la ora asta din noapte. Cred că era cea mai bună idee cu trupa asta la sfârșit de program. Bassam, thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a privilege to have you here, and yes, it's been a privilege to hear a correct, a balanced, not a balanced, how should I put it? A very normal position of a citizen living in this country.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be here at your show, and it's a great honor to be here at your country.
Le mulțumesc prietenilor de la The Marker, lui Alexandru Mălaimare, lui Puiu Pascu, tuturor celor care sunt alături de noi. Nu pot să le fac decât, ca de obicei până acum, promisiunea că o să încercăm să nu-i dezamăgim, pentru că au avut și sper că încă mai au încredere în noi. În rest, ne vedem tot aici, la Garantat 100%. Să fiți sănătoși, noapte bună!
Televiziunea Română, întâlnirile JTI și Fundația Art Production vă recomandă Garantat 100%.